You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop, and Braden Boakes of Littlebug Woodworking. You can find them as well as the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Welcome to episode 246 of another Woodshop podcast, where this week we're joined by another Florida maker cranking out amazing DIY home upgrades and one-of-a-kind pieces. After catching the DIY bug, she started doing what every reasonable person does. She went all in on building her own furniture and DIYing the whole house, to save money. And after 17 years of practicing law, she officially turned in her legal briefs for pocket hole jigs and has never looked back. Please help me welcome the powerhouse behind Knock on Wood, Yesi Gomez. Woo! What is up, Yesi? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. I can't wait for you to answer all of our legal questions.
Can I get away with this? So can you help us understand the precedent of the legal dead zone around Yellowstone Park?
Oh, yeah, that came up a couple days ago.
We're not talking about that.
Can I literally kill people in that area? Is that
speaking of people?
Speaking of the legal dead zone in Yellowstone Park, Dan,
our patrons?
The worst handoffs ever.
Guys and lady, we have two new patrons this week. We got Travis Holmes and Lachlan Woodworks joining the army. Welcome, gentlemen.
Ooh.
I assume they're both gentlemen. I guess that was a bad assumption.
Wow,
I don't know.
Dan.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You know what happens when you assume, Dan?
I make an ass out of Braden and me.
Sometimes you're wrong.
Oh, right. Let's talk about. What just happened?
Let's talk Bert 6, baby.
And he's sober, everyone. Oh no, Dan.
Let's talk about our VIP patrons for one quick moment. We have Chris Lamoureux from Homefront Woodworks. We got Chris Greenwood over at Evolution Custom Woodworking. Yesi's biggest fan, that is Duffy Woodcraft, the one and only mayor of WorkbenchCon. Is that legally his name now?
TBD.
We'll get into that with Yesi in a little bit.
He's on a break.
I want to have your tables is Greg Bennett's from Wendy Akers Works. Greg D'Ambrosio over at GTD Woodworks. Jeremy Claybaugh. Mike at Woodwork and Weld. Timeout is my happy place. Guess who that is? Alex Adams.
There it is.
Joe's Off Cut Emporium.
Sure. John Herbolsheimer at the Living Laugh Woodworks. Nick Vreeland from Envy Wood Shop. Nick had an accident with the jointer recently, and his thumb is not doing well. So everybody say thoughts and tariffs for Nick's thumb.
Oh,
yeah, he's talked about it in our Discord. It's too bad.
Anyways,
Anyways,
did you finally share the photos? I don't know if I can look.
No photos.
No gory photos.
Okay,
He just talked
good.
about how it's not doing super well. Jared LaPuma over at LL Builds Woodworking. Tyler Booth at Temecula Yard Games. Henry Luton's from Manfreda Wood. Justin Frazier from Fraser Canyon Woodworks. Sarah with Rosie's Wood Shop. El Jefe at Maker's Way. Victor from Whim Designs. Maximum Slurpage continues to be Nick Brim.
Oh my God.
Dan's Mattress Boom Boom Goop. That is Max and Liz Reed. Or I think that's probably just Max
That's
Reed.
just Max.
I don't think Liz should be dragged down with that name. Bill Burkle at WTB Woodworking. Malcolm at Bossa Nova Woodworks. Grafted with Machines is Patrick Gensel. Ed Mancini at Mancini Woodworking. Chris at Chris Will Make. Willow Creek Lumber. That is Scott Shirk. Justin Bailey from Campfire Woodworks, and rounding them all out is John Grubb over at Grubb Will Make. Thank you to each and every one of our patrons. You will help us keep this podcast from being sued into oblivion. I don't know how.
Thank you for helping us.
But we appreciate you guys.
Fees.
Yes, you help pay the
legal fees.
If you want to join the Matt Army, you can go over to I love AWP.com.
I love AWP.com.
Or you could just go to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast, whatever one you find easier.
No, we don't have a problem with domains.
No, not at all.
We don't have a problem.
Speaking of problems, Brayden.
Speaking of problems, you can join the May Army, and if you do that, you're going to be entered in to win a prize every single month. Dan has gone overboard with insanity, and he has committed us to a prize to our patron group once a month.
Not from the giveaway though. I'm just mentally not
in general
doing well.
This was just like the natural decline into madness. So we're doing it. We're on month number 4, technically number 5 if you include Christmas last year. Because we're Santa Claus-esque. And if you go ahead, you're going to be entered in to win a $250 gift card to WTB Woodworking. Dear sweet angelic Bill Burkle wants you to buy new stuff, and so he has every single brand you can think of. I recently just got myself some Bloom drawer slides from him. He gave me those at a great price. He shipped them right away, and then he was mad when they showed up 4 days with a weekend instead of 3 days with a weekend. So he's willing to go fight UPS for you. But anyway, you want that $250 gift card. So go ahead, and we're going to do something different. We're opening it up to everybody. You don't actually have to be a patron this month.
But it does help.
It does help. Oh, yeah. You immediately we're bumping all of the tiers up 5 entries. So if you are on the $2 tier, you get 5 entries, then 10, 15, 20 for our VIP patrons. Or if you just want to go to arethechairs.included.com, it'll take you to our St. Jude's fundraiser page. Every $5 you donate gets you another entry, and it helps fight childhood cancer. And if you're not on board with that, well, frankly, get on out of here. So yeah, go ahead and do that, Pete.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm just going to do a quick little ad read here. I'm going to do it.
So are you going to do it in that sexy
NPR
voice?
style?
Oh my God.
Give us a
No.
NPR voice.
Onefinity! You paid for the whole
that's the
Finity,
opposite
you
of
only
what I
use
wanted.
the edge. But Onefinity is our sponsor. We all love our Onefinity machines. The machine's so good they stopped naming it after the first model, bringing it industrial machine standards to the consumer level price. Onefinity has become a shop hold name, I guess not household, when it comes to being reliable, dependable, and not to mention sleek and sexy, right? So they have a machine that fits every single need, every single budget, and they just released a whole bunch of cool accessories that are now shipping. So you can get your hands on the new spindles, the rotary, of course, we got the airweight set up too, which I hope to get my hands on that at some point. So make sure to go check out OneFinityCNC.com for all your goodies. And of course, you're going to need to put something into that CNC. And of course, we recommend Bits+Bits, also our sponsor. Bits+Bits is the premier all made in the USA supplier of bits and router bits and other accessories as well. They're a Festool supplier, so you definitely want to check them out for all your CNC and routing needs. They got super fast shipping, great customer support. All their bits are finished with their AstraHP multi-layer coating, helping your bits run cleaner, cooler, and up to 2 to 3 times longer, gentlemen. Giving you the ability to run your bits like Dan runs his life, fast and hard. That's still in the here. I'm going to take that out. So use code AWP at checkout at bitsbits.com for 10% off your order. Woo!
Hey, nice.
You may notice on Facebook and Instagram the Bits+Bits ads. If you've ever searched and gotten caught up in the keyword algorithm, they have a pretty cool video right now of a bowl bit doing a pattern into some cabinet doors.
Is that you?
That piece was actually made by our dear sweet VIP patron Jeff Henke from Maker's Way.
Oh, was it really? Oh, yeah. Neat.
Yep.
Good stuff. So you're saying they're stealing his content for profit?
What? Wait.
Well, if only we had someone to ask about that. No, not that kind of lawyer. Well, let's got through all the legal jargon in the beginning now. Now we can get to our guest. Yesi is here. Yesi, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for hanging in there through the pre-show. That was a type of ride, not necessarily a great one. But people are just dying to know. For those that don't follow you yet, don't know who you are, who the heck do you think you are?
Well, I am new to this maker community that I've enjoyed so far, getting to know everyone, but I am a mom of a 16-year-old beautiful daughter. I am also a dog mom. I have a new puppy. So I've been busy lately.
Pause. Type of dog.
Yes.
Go.
A Cavapoo. So it's a poodle Cavalier mix. He's like a teddy bear.
Okay.
Cutest thing ever. And I've just been working, building and creating and enjoying my life since I left the legal field. It's basically waking up every day doing what I love and supporting my daughter and building things for friends, for family, for my customers, and just grow my business. Here I am.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
So your woodworking side gig hobby took off and took such a weird turn that you were like, yeah, this lawyer job's not paying the bills like this is, and you just took the dive, like took the leap. I feel like that's a big jump to take. How can you talk a little bit about that?
It is a big jump, and it's not something that happened overnight. Obviously, I spent many years doing what I love. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed doing it, and I think I was just maybe got to the point of my life where I was just burnt out and wanted to do something different. But while I was working, I was in the weekends, I was working on projects at home, and that's kind of how everything got started. Just doing DIY projects around the house and watching HGTV, DIY Network, and thinking, I think I can build that. I think I can do that. So I started practicing building stuff. Little by little, I started buying tools and learning, and I love doing it. Again, it was a hobby. It was a weekend hobby. After work, it would take me maybe a month or two to complete one project because I'm working full-time job, crazy hours, and on my time off, that's when I would get my hands on woodworking. But I thought to myself, I can't do this. I wasn't good enough then to leave my job and do this full time. But as years went by and I learned a lot more, and I'm still learning, I'm still in the process of learning, I decided a couple of years ago, by that point, although I was working my full-time job, I was still doing jobs here and there for neighbors and family and friends. And I thought, okay, this is something I would want to do full time. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to make it happen somehow. And here I am.
You stuck with it. You made it work. That's awesome.
I made it work somehow or another.
So you talk about the lead up to the I'm going to make the jump, and then there was the moment where you were like, I object to doing this, and I'm going to go do this. I'm really sorry. I can't not do puns. It's not physically possible for me. So I'm going to try. But what was the project that you were working on where you're like, all right, I can do this full time? Like, what were you building when that decision happened? Because there's only one moment. Do you remember that moment?
Well, I do remember that moment, but it didn't happen then. 2020 during COVID, I worked from home basically for almost a year. And I had a lot of time on my hands and a lot of projects, and I usually just didn't have that extra time. So I started doing major projects here at home that I would have never had time to do before. And like building a fireplace, building a swing for my porch. That was like my first time actually building furniture and chairs and stuff like that. So I think at that point, I challenged myself to do a lot of things that I had never done before. And I said, okay, I think this is something that if I continue working on it and practicing, this is something that I can eventually do full time. But it did not happen until a couple of years. 2023 was actually when I decided to leave. And I think it was just a combination of work and the load that I had. And I was just ready for a change, ready for something different. And I started doing some projects before leaving work, and that was it. That was like this is it. I have to do this. I can't do both at the same time. Physically, there was no time for me to do both. So I I took that leap and I said, no going back. I'm gonna go for it.
I love it, and I love the mental health aspect of being able to like make a major life change like that, because I mean it's scary for a lot of people. Also, boys, we get to punch our 10th punch card for the makers that sort of started because of COVID. So we actually get a free sub at the deli. So that's great.
Quiznos?
A lot of people did start during COVID.
A lot of people did,
But
yes,
not
for sure.
that many people stuck it out.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
good on you.
COVID was the best thing for like the woodworking community and like woodworking businesses, and return to work was like it just decimated people. Like just a lot of small businesses folded because of return to work. So
Yeah.
So when I quit my job,
Oh, go ahead.
when I quit my job back in 2011 and I went full time, being a photographer, but that's neither here nor there. I didn't do it because of the money. The money was going to be better or anything. I did it for my mental health. Like I couldn't continue to work for somebody else anymore because I was just going to lose it. And I see you shaking your head. Was that something kind of similar to where you were at?
100%. I didn't do it for the money, obviously.
Right.
it's weird
Okay.
because Dan's known as level-headed Dan. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they call me that down in the States.
Right.
so what kind of
Go ahead.
Pete? Go ahead, Pete.
Well, so what was I know you actually you have a pinned bio, which I love when a guest has a pinned bio on their Instagram. It just makes it really easy to start giving me some nuggets to look into things. You started with a refinish and I guess a table, and then started doing some DIYing around I guess a fireplace and whatnot. You leapt into built-ins and home renovation quite fast, and I feel like sometimes like the people do some gateway refinishing, gateway drugs first. I'm a little upset with you because of how easy you make built-ins look. You seem to really have it down now, especially painting stuff. Like the finish quality looks good, and you're doing this without like some crazy spray booth or whatever you're doing it in a shop. But like I'll get to that. I want to hear like how it really started. Like, do you remember working on the first things? Like, what kind of got you to be like, oh, F this, I'm not going to pay someone. Let me just try it myself. Like, do you remember a specific project that you were working on that kind of got you hooked?
I mean, I've always been the type that I want to figure things out on my own and build things out on my own. So I started, my first project was a table for my mom, like a farmhouse, very rustic looking like table. And she's like, build me a table. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I had no tools. So I went to the Home Depot and I bought, like, I downloaded this plan online and I went with my cut list, and I heard that Home Depot can cut wood for you. And I was just like, okay, this is going to work out perfectly fine.
They technically can. Not necessarily straight.
Not necessarily the right side, but I go with my list. I look for the lumber that I need. They cut them. I bring everything home, and I am assembling this the best way that I know how, by doing research online, on Pinterest, on YouTube, and just kind of winging it. I'm like, I will not build it the same way I did back in 2017. Now I would build it completely different, but I had no experience whatsoever. But I started putting the table together, and that's when I realized, yeah, these cuts are off. And so there was like countless trips back and forth from Home Depot home. And during one of those trips, I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy myself a miter saw. I have to buy my own tools because it's not going to work. I can't go back to.
That's like the number one tool, I feel like, when people are like, I got a miter saw.
I got a miter saw. I was so excited. It's like, I look at it now, and it was, to me, that was like such a power tool. And now I look at it, and it was like a baby one. And now I have like the big one. I'm just like, how did I ever do anything with this? But I got myself some tools, and I was building everything out of her dining room right there inside the house. I'm cutting wood inside her dining room, and sawdust everywhere, and staining inside her dining room. But I got the table put together.
Is this the pill shaped table? Like, is this the oval pill shaped?
No, it's a long 7-footer rectangular. I bought the legs online because I didn't have. She wanted like the farmhouse chunky legs that, of course, I didn't have the tools to make.
You don't have a beam saw?
The thick
I didn't have any of that. So I bought the legs and I built everything else out, and she has the table, and it's very
Is
heavy.
she still using it?
She still has it. She's still using it. Yeah.
Then it was a success.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was in 2017. So after that, I did many more tables. And
8 years.
yeah.
Had to.
I'm just
Why would you say that, Dan?
What?
Dude, I feel so like when you say 2017, that feels like last year. Yeah, no, 8
just
years.
go ahead
Sorry,
and remember. Go ahead and remember the Goofy movie came out 30 years this year.
Okay,
30
you
years
shut.
ago.
You shut up. Okay, back to serious
And-
questions here.
Powerline still slaps.
Oh my
Still
god.
slaps.
Power
right.
line?
So jumping into built-ins, you're doing a lot of built-ins. Can you talk about the first time you did a built-in and realized the drywall isn't flat?
Still a nightmare.
I remember the first time I did a built-in and was like, "What do you mean this isn't flat?"
And that's
What do you mean
that's
it's not a 90-degree corner?
and that right there is the moment where you go from I was going to leave this like natural wood to I'm going to paint this
I'm
one.
gonna paint this.
Talk, baby, talk.
You use a lot of caulk.
So you do a lot of built-ins now and barn doors and stuff. Was built-ins just like you just happen to have a lot of projects, or is that something like you is there something you specialize in?
I mean, I've built a little bit of everything, but it's just what people ask for. And I started with the built-ins. I started with like dry bars, built-ins, where they want the cabinetry, the mini fridge and countertop. So that's where that came in. I was doing a lot of dry bars. So obviously, I'm building cabinets. I had never done cabinets before. And from
How
there,
hard could it be? It's just a box.
Hey, were you ever buying pre-built ones, or you were making?
Never. No, I never bought a pre-built one.
Bravo.
I started researching and learning and watching other makers make. Everyone builds them differently, so I would just get ideas from everyone and then try it out and see what worked best for me, and that's how that started with the built-ins.
Have
And
you
from
hit,
there I went to office built-in bookshelves and you name it.
have you hit the point with like cabinets where you realize that unlike everything else with woodworking, cabinets you always start crazy overbuilding them at the beginning? And have you hit that point where it's like I can actually get away with like basically just gluing these things together, and once they're in there, they're solid?
I have.
You gotta screw them to the wall, all right?
Like I can pretty much pin nail these things, and
I
as long
have.
as I do this right, it'll be fine.
You're not cutting down quality. No. It's just
No.
the way they're installed. You're attaching to studs, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not going anywhere.
Let me ask you this: for cabinets, frameless or face frames?
To me, it's easier for frameless, obviously, but I like doing both. I don't enjoy edge banding too much.
I don't either. I hate it.
And
So I usually
I
throw a frame on stuff.
so I feel like with the frame, it just looks nicely finished. But I have done a lot of frameless as well.
Basically, it
that.
comes down to whatever the customer wants.
Yeah,
right?
whatever the customer wants. A lot of times they are not sure what it means or what inset means or overlay or partial overlay or full overlay. They're like, what? I'm like, okay, it's going to look like this or it's going to look like this. Which one do you like? And depending on what you like, that's going to be the cost.
That's when you just go with do you trust me?
Yeah, basically.
I got you.
Yeah.
And
I'm
do you-
team face frame. All of you frameless people are insane. I don't know
I get
why
that
you'd
it's
ever
easier,
deal with
but-
an edge bander.
It's the edge
Yeah.
bander. Unless you're doing a
Yeah.
hardwood, like solid hardwood cabinet, then
Right. That's different.
yeah.
If it's a solid piece of furniture piece, and then that's completely different. But I don't know. I like the look with the frame.
Plywood deserves a little frame. Just a little something to like. I got a safe space where I can make my mistakes.
What
and I can hide
about what
them.
if you do a frame so thin that it's just the thickness of the plywood?
Like a veneer?
That's just a fat veneer. Or fat edge banding.
Yeah.
8-quarter edge banding. So
I'm gonna do a really nice poplar edge band, real thick.
Like a
What-
4-inch.
Yeah, just like I mean, I've definitely done that before because like I've made my own edge banding before. I could like I didn't think that buying it was cheaper, so I just like glued on 1/4 inch, of the wood. Like, oh, this is fine. You can't tell.
I've done that
So
before.
young and dumb back then. Whatever. I was
older.
making.
Now you're older and dumb.
Dumb.
So it's fine.
So would you say that you have a style? Like, is it farmhouse? Is it modern? Is it kind of whatever the customer wants?
Is it
Whatever
make
the
money?
customer wants.
Is it make
Yeah.
money?
Yeah.
Is
Whatever
money
the customer
style?
wants. I haven't
Cashable
done
check.
a lot of farmhouse stuff. I mean, I feel like I still consider shiplap sort of in that era of farmhouse. But-
The Chip and Joanne Gaines style.
Yeah. But
That is
I don't do a
timeless. I
lot
don't
of
care what
farmhouse
people
stuff.
say.
It's
You're only
timeless
saying
as-
that because your whole house is shiplap.
it's
Okay, we've tried to
timeless-
tell you. We've had talks about this.
Yeah, it's
No, it's bare
timeless
white
as
walls.
it's timeless as long as that time is from like 2008 to 2023.
Listen here, man. I lived in houses with brown, like wood and pink bathrooms with tile. When I moved here, I said white everything, despite all the lighting in here being purple.
Yeah,
But like
I like white.
every wall is white, just so I can have a clean slate, and then we'll build on top of that.
Yeah. Good. That's a good plan.
Yeah, Emma wants
Pete,
an accent
that's a-
wall for the nursery. I got to work on that now.
Pete,
Did
that's
I
a
ever
very
tell you guys-
very long-winded way to say that you don't have any style.
Did I ever
No
tell you guys
style.
that my first house that I bought in 2000, it had pink carpet in the bathroom?
I also had
I
pink
never
and blue and green
understood
carpet
that.
in the bathrooms.
What is that?
1979 was when our other house was built, and it was styled then, and they stuck with it.
It was my house. That house was built in 1920,
Wow.
and whoever
Ooh.
They
Whoever-
had they had colored, like they have color.
I'm
for
willing
the
to bet
carpet.
that wasn't the
It wasn't
original
black
carpet.
and white.
I'm thinking it wasn't the original carpet. Somebody actually made a decision to put it in there. They thought
you-
that was better than whatever was in there before.
Somebody in the 80s thought
Did
that
you-
was the move. Yeah.
Did you tear out the carpet yourself, Dan, or did you like just pay somebody that was replacing your carpet to take it all
I
out?
did it myself. I tiled the bathroom.
Okay.
I did that
Nice,
back
attaboy.
in 2008, 2008, 2006.
Here's the thing:
I-
the psychopath move was the person that was like, I love this pink carpet on the floor, but
I wish it was
what if-
shag.
what if it was on top of the toilet seat lid?
Ooh.
Like, you go to
It
a
may have
grandma's
been a
house and it's
thing.
like,
Oh, yeah.
why is this
Yeah.
a thing?
I
Yeah.
just don't know who looked at the carpet store and was like, this is a really nice plush shag carpet. It's gonna be great in the bathroom.
All right, enough about
Right?
bad taste. We're talking about great taste because Yesi's here.
It's not bad taste.
We
It's
haven't even
Pete-
talked about the wallpaper that was in that house.
It's called Pete
Oh,
taste.
God.
I should find a picture and send it to you guys.
Actually, wait, is wallpaper back? Is it
It's
going
coming-
again?
I think it's coming back because
I
we
think
finally.
so.
I don't
we
care about you
finally got
guys.
the
Yesi, I want your
technology.
answer.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's completely different. It's not the same type of wallpaper that you saw in the houses back in the 80s with the apples and all the different patterns.
This ain't your mama's wallpaper.
You mean the 6-inch wallpaper runner that goes across the top
Yeah,
of the
oh
ceiling?
yes, on the
Yeah.
top. Oh my
Like
god.
chickens or whatever. Yeah,
Now-
country
now our-
style.
Now our
The country
house
style.
now our house has a doily.
Completely.
Oy.
All
All right, I have a selfish question. You
Oh,
guys can take a
God.
nap.
right.
You've done, you've
was
done
already kinda doing
quite a
that.
few, not like personal question, just selfish question. You've done quite a few laundry rooms, right? Like you've done a good amount.
Uh-huh.
I when I do my research, I usually check out people's Instagram and stuff. Like I kept getting lost, and I'm like, "Ooh, I need to do a laundry room soon."
Okay.
And what are your like, "Hey, don't bother," and definitely do this for laundry rooms?
I'm about to do our laundry room, so I'm actually really interested. In
Okay,
this.
there you go.
I mean, I think the main thing is the storage. You want to have storage. A lot of laundry rooms just specifically the new house, they just have a one wire shelf to hang stuff up and no cabinetry or anything. So I think definitely cabinetry to put all of everything away, to kind of store and hide the detergents and all of cleaning supplies. I get
Above the washing machine, would you do cabinets or shelves?
or both
Oh,
if you have the space.
okay.
I mean,
I like
or one cabinet, depending on how much space you have, you can have the cabinet and shelves. But I think the shelves are mainly for decorative purposes. You can still use them. They're still use them to
Put like a
stuff on there, but
put like a nice bowl of fruit or something. You know, the ambiance.
like a nice maybe detergent dispenser. You know, like the
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like a
the
thicker
little
shelf.
fancy one that you like pour.
Yeah.
like how everybody has to take food out and put it into like glass jars.
Basically, yes, and then your little
Let's
pot, and the little
repackage.
glass one. So very nice. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's got all
Nothing
pretty.
said classy, like just a beautiful redone, laundry room with like a bottle of Tide on its side with a spout.
No, you want to hide that inside the cabinet.
Yeah.
I
That's why-
object.
that's why.
You want to show that you're not buying the Kirkland store brand. You want to show you're buying like brand name. That's like wearing like Louis Vuitton. That's like
We're an
branded.
all
You want to
household.
show.
Versace.
So dumb.
But
Yeah, see, we have the problem of we have a laundry room, pantry, mud room. It's all one room. So I was gonna do a wraparound like a butler's pantry, just continuous countertop. all the way
Wow,
around.
Richie Rich, you got a butler?
No, I'm just gonna
Butler.
call it that. It's just it's Emma. Oh, because she
Wow.
listens to it. She's
Wow,
gonna kill me
wow.
for this one. She
Man.
actually listens to the podcast. I love you, honey. You look so beautiful today.
Do you guys think that it's going to get easier for like laundry room remodels and things like that now that the technology for all-in-one washer dryer units is like it's actually getting good? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
They're starting to advertise them.
It's going to be easier because I'm going to buy one of those robots that does
The
everything
folds
for
the
you.
laundry. Yeah.
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 That's the thing.
What?
It's coming.
No, but like they have like all-in-one units now where you basically put it in
just
and
the
it
one,
washes
right?
it.
The washer and dryer.
The washer
what?
and dryer is the
Seriously?
same thing.
Yeah.
And so it finishes the wash cycle. It's like, all right, the water's gone, dry bitch, and then it
Right. Yeah.
you don't have to change it. It just
Is that a
goes.
knob you have to turn to?
Yeah. It's technically it's a downloadable profile from Samsung.com.
It's a subscription. It plays an ad and then it dries it out.
That means there's more space for cabinets, so
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I
and a
wouldn't hate
folding
that.
table and all that. So
But there is something to be said about a machine not being tied up for 2 hours. If you're doing multiple loads, you've got like, why am I talking? I only help with the laundry.
I was gonna say,
the boss.
Pete, when's the last time you actually did a load of laundry?
I carry the baskets up and down the stairs.
Aw, look at that sweet face. Good job, Pete.
Wait till he gets his robot butler. He ain't
I
doing
can't
nothing.
wait. I can't wait. All right. What about something? I want to hear something you. Oh, actually, wait. So you said what to do, what not to do in a laundry room.
what not to do?
Yeah. Anything that just like don't do it. It's not worth it.
Pink carpet.
Yeah. Pink carpet. No. I mean, other than your storage and maybe have something to hang clothes or, a rack to hang wet clothes on or, anything. Other than that, it's just your basic laundry stuff.
I got to figure out the clothes drying.
Yesi, I feel like Yesi has a secret here that she's dancing around not telling us. She's like, I'm not going to tell you guys the thing.
The
I'm going to give you
thing.
guys the stuff like, oh, if you Google top 10 things, that's what we're getting here.
I did a laundry room and it was not a huge laundry room, but the space was utilized, I mean, from floor to ceiling. I did cabinetry from floor to, like a utility cabinet.
Mhm.
And one of them was built specifically to house the vacuum. And it had like an outlet. So the person, the customer hung the vacuum there and it's charging. And she had all like her ironing board and all the tall stuff that you need, like broom and all that stuff. And then specific shelves to put like the stuff that you don't use on a daily basis, like all the way at the top, all the extra paper towels, toilet paper. So all that cabinet space that you have up high, even though you need a small step stool to reach for it, those are things that you don't need on a daily. So I guess that would be a good idea if you're building and you have tall ceilings, just go all the way up. Utility cabinets.
Has anybody noticed, maybe it's just me, like maybe I haven't been paying attention at all, but it seems like functional, like really functional spaces are now getting really, really nice. So like
Yeah,
laundry
they're sexy
rooms.
again.
Yeah, like laundry
Closets.
rooms, mud rooms.
Well,
Pantries.
Justin Timberlake brought sexy back. So
That's true. But yeah, like off kitchen pantries, like they're getting sexy. And I'm like, I've never thought about storage.
That's why I
this
really want to
way.
do right by this room because it's 3 things. It's also
Yeah.
the entrance to
Something you
my.
use on a daily basis. It's like you want to at least make the room look pretty.
So, you guys remember Bao Loy? He used to be
Bless
like very, very prominent in our community. He made a hidden door, and you do a lot of this. You do slatted wood on a wall, and he actually had the entrance to his shop was hidden in that wall.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I
I
remember
that
I really
video.
wanted to do that because it's literally the entrance to my shop,
Uh-huh.
laundry, and then like pantry on the other wall. So like I
Oh.
kind of wanted to do this slatted wall and have that door blend in.
Ooh,
Okay.
I've
That'd be cool.
got it. Slatted wall, and then we actually put your washer and or dryer in front of it, but we put it on wheels so that like
You
can
pull it
do
out
this.
each time. Easy.
Now, it's
and you
gonna
have you have a 3D printed head in there, and you have to pull the head.
be- and
and
the
then-
washing machine slides.
Yes.
Listen, we're gonna
We
have
got
to
this
put-
all worked out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put your water line on a flex in a door hinge, but it's definitely probably not gonna fail at any point. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be great.
all right, enough
I'm glad
about
we
laundry rooms.
ironed that out.
Don't listen to him.
Well, I got some ideas now for what I want to do now for our room. But I want to hear your favorite and least favorite thing to make, whether it's for yourself or for clients. I'm assuming now a lot of the work is client work. You've pimped your ride enough. Like now you're doing, the upgrades for other people. So what's your
We
favorite?
heard
and
you
least
like
favorite thing to
built-in,
do?
so we put built-ins in your built-ins.
Tell us about your least favorite client by name. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
I've been so lucky with all my clients. I'm not just saying this because they might be listening, but been very lucky.
Francine Kemisha.
Least favorite builds are, I mean, I don't think I have anything specifically that I would say. I think for a while in the beginning when I started building, I was doing a lot of barn doors and I love building them. I wasn't enjoying the installation part of it. But other than that, I don't have anything specific that I am just like, oh, I gotta build this next week, or I have this job coming up, I don't want to do this. So luckily it's been good so far. And then as far as my favorite, I haven't done a ton of furniture work and I do enjoy building furniture. And I'm in the middle of building a few furniture pieces for a customer and I'm really enjoying this time. So it's been, I hope that I can dive into doing a lot more of that. And still do cabinetry and all the other stuff, barn doors and all. I enjoy it all. So it has been a nice variety.
Yeah, you got a pretty wide range
Yeah.
as far as like home upgrades go.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
And how do you find your customer base? Like, is it all just word of mouth traffic?
A lot of word of mouth referrals, and believe it or not, I do get a lot of leads from Instagram and
Really?
Facebook. On Facebook specifically, I try to post. I join local communities in where I live in my county or surrounding counties, and I join those communities, and then I'll post once a month on there. I'll post a job. And then I have a lot of people reach out and a lot of networking groups that I join as well locally. So I've gotten a lot of leads and customers from that, which have generated into referrals. And that's basically how I've gotten the leads that I have. And then I also did a lot of work with my local downtown on markets.
Mhm.
So I met a lot of vendors, a lot of people coming by the booth, meeting them, giving them my card. And so that's as far in a local aspect, that's where I've gotten most of my customers.
Do you find that your legal background helps you run your business?
I mean, to a degree, Especially
degree.
Yeah, get a degree. Get a long degree. Got it.
to a degree, understanding the aspect of running the business. When I started, I basically started with, just yeah, this was all new to me, the estimates and the invoices that I would send out. And then every single time I would send one out, I'm like, wait, I want to tweak this. I want to add this to it. I want to add that to it. And now I'm in a 4-page contract that I sign with my customers. And
Whoa.
it's taken me
we're
a
supposed to
very
do
long time.
contracts?
Huh?
Wait,
We're supposed to do contracts?
there's supposed to be
Well,
4 pages?
I have it's 3.5 pages, but little by little in every job that I do, I learn something new and I implement something new in my contract. So it's forever changing, but
Interesting.
I am covering myself from every legal aspect. So if I'm ever going to run into a
So
situation,
That does help you right there. I mean,
well, in that sense, yeah.
clearly none of us do contracts. Oh God.
I protect myself legally by being very comfortable with the idea of changing my name and moving to a different country. So
So, like, well, not to tell you how to like
I
run
thought you looked familiar.
not to tell you how to run your business, but you should find a way to sell that. And like just
your contract.
just a contract, and like if you, because there's so many people in a community finding a niche thing, like Lizzie from House of Timber that has literally a master class on painting small MDF pieces to look glossy and beautiful. Like that class like pays your bills.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's right.
I bought it.
Yeah. So like something as what really seems like a simple to you, because like you knew how to form an LLC, right? Like it was pretty easy for you. That's an anxiety inducing like thing for most people starting a business. So having obviously, doing it, and you would know exactly how to do it from I'm not offering legal advice, I'm offering advice about legal advice type of thing. That is immensely valuable and
Marketable?
increasingly difficult to find in our community, because the answer is always like lawyer up, like get a lawyer, talk to a lawyer, talk to an accountant. We want to give advice, even though if we know the answer, that's the answer for us. So is that the answer that's the correct one for everyone? So
You know our
something
answer.
Yeah.
You're not saying it.
Yeah, I ain't a lawyer. But, I think something like that, if you had it listed like on your website or something as like template contract to use with your users, could potentially be immensely valuable as a passive income.
Yeah. That's very true. Good idea.
And do you have a website set up as well?
It's almost done.
Oh, you're working on it. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's about 90% there. I have to finish up a few final things and then it'll go live.
I got the feeling when you hopped on that you were somebody that like actually finished stuff and planned stuff out before you just like leapt off. Like I got that feeling.
And it's really, I love when we have people on that run a business, do this full time, and like you're not doing Etsy, you're not doing like website stuff, you're not like, at least we haven't mentioned like doing heavy Pinterest pinning and stuff, and I'm getting business from that. You're doing old school traditional
Doing the
word of mouth, groundwork, local work, and like you're busy. You seem busy.
Yeah,
So that's really encouraging to see. Like, is there any other avenues you're pursuing, or you're just getting the work from word of mouth?
You got to buy your class to get that info.
That's right.
Yeah, no, mainly from word of mouth referrals, past customers too. I do a lot of work for repeat, the customers that I've done work for before. They call me back and they want something different, a new project or furniture or something new in their house. So that's basically how it's been for the past 2.5 years. So ever since I left my job on September 2nd of 2023, and by September 5th, which was on a Monday, or the 4th, I was already at my first booking at my first job.
Wow.
And it's been nonstop since.
So just proof that you can leave a long-term career, one of arguably like the careers that your parents wish that you had, like doctor, lawyer,
Lawyer.
sea captain. Hello back there.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. And
I see a fluff ball.
sorry, I'm so distracted
Sorry,
by this dog.
There's a dog and a handsome man with a beard. I can't focus anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This is
words
minor.
literally left me.
Only on this podcast could you have like a pretty lady on, and we're like, oh, a man with a handsomely trimmed beard and a
Ooh,
dog. What's going
Look at
on?
that man in his beard.
That is a cute man and a dog.
Relax, Pete. Good Lord.
That pup
down.
is adorable.
Hi. This is
I used
how
to be a big dog person. I was always like, yeah, big dogs, manly. And I'm like, dogs are just cute.
He keeps trying to escape, and then we keep pulling him back. That's what he. I gotta go back and get the dog.
This
now.
is why
Oh
you
my-
watch the YouTube video of the podcast, because you
That's
get
right.
gems like that.
If you're just listening, you have no idea. So let me paint you a vivid and descriptive word picture. I don't even. Oh, anyway, yeah. So you could leave like one of the careers, and you can, if you spend the time and you focus and you double down and you bet on yourself, like you can do this. You can build a full-time furniture business.
What Braden is saying is that everybody should do that.
Well, I
Go.
mean, not do it or don't, but I'm guessing that it's not as easy as just saying, "Hey, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I'm going to do it." If you got to be willing to put in the hard work. You got to do it, but it's possible. It's possible.
it is.
The American dream.
It is.
Very,
Have you
very
ever built-
encouraging.
Have you ever built a white picket fence?
Me?
Anybody? Well,
No.
American dream. We should be building these white picket
No,
fences.
when
I built a
jumped the
picket fence,
coming
but I
into this
didn't.
country, they made me build it.
Oh
on this
no!
Oh,
You don't say that out loud currently. Don't do that. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, why don't we let's move it along, because we have more questions for Yesi from our audience too that we can keep grilling her on. But let's take a little pause. We're gonna do a quick little.
Are we doing an intermission?
What? Oh, yeah. Let's do it again.
What's on my bench?
We're gonna do a what's on a bench for Dan only.
I was gonna say.
Oh, God.
I would like to yield my time to the representative from Nebraska.
I yield my time from the representative from Omaha. So, Dan, do you want me to, as a non-biased party, do a quick recap of what happened, or do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, do a quick recap, and I'll try
should
to
we-
do a streamlined version of the whole situation.
Should we call Sutton?
no, because then we'll get
Don't
off
put him
whole
on the
thing.
spot.
So we were joking around that we had a legal issue that we need Yesi to help us with, but we do really want your input on this and see how you feel.
Yeah,
about
please
the
feel
situation.
free to jump in and be like, "You're wrong, Mr.
Not a legal
Dunlap."
perspective, just like we'd love your input as a maker. So let me paint you a picture. The year is 2025,
Mhm.
and everything's been made before. We're all just remaking the stuff, right? So Dan last week gets an email from Etsy saying
That's illegal.
Etsy legal at Etsy.com, whatever. And essentially it says, hey, this account, and we're not going to name any names, but this account says you have violated their IP, their intellectual property. And some of the examples that they offer there are you use their photos, their music, their audio,
Videos.
their videos, their copyrighted material.
It
And-
was a DMCA takedown notice, which is basically Digital Millennium Copyright Act, meaning that I took their digital media to promote my own product.
Yep.
That was
And-
copyrighted.
And what they were citing is that essentially Dan stole their IP, their media of some kind. After doing some digging, turns out they were assuming that Dan stole their design for the side table that he has. 4 planks of wood, beautifully crafted with 4 mortises and tenons in it, into a side table for his side of a couch. Beautiful piece of furniture.
Narrow style.
Narrow style, yes. So Dan had that taken down. Patrick Gensel, I'm going to name drop him. He also had his taken down, and we don't know who else after that, because they all have narrow side tables. Dan then goes to reach out to the person that actually sent the notice to Etsy.
I reached
reported
out
them to
through
Etsy.
Instagram.
And I will say this for the last time. I am the first one to call Dan out on his bullshit. I am the first person to call him out when he's wrong. Dan handled this great, and I think Dan was in the
Shockingly
right
well.
here. So Dan reaches out and goes, hey, it's like with screenshots of the email, wanted to talk to you first before things got escalated. What's this all about? they essentially doubled down with, hey, a lot of people sent us. Dan had just dropped a YouTube video about the said project for the side table, and was getting some traffic on his sales and his templates and stuff. And this person essentially went, a lot of people sent us your video with your photos. We felt that it was very close to our design, and we want to protect our unique design. So we filed it with Etsy. And
just to point out, their unique design is also a narrow table that is closer to just 4 planks of wood. Yeah. There's less working and massaging and designing.
Dan may have had more je ne sais quoi.
A little arugula, little Rwanda.
Some curves and some
the thing
feng shui or something.
Essentially, they doubled down on, hey, no, we stand by this. We're protecting ourselves. For something that it's the equivalent of, here's what I'll say. I was trying to really deeply think about this. I have been doing 3D printed items for shop organization for 5-6 years now. After me, Travis from Shop Nation started doing it. Drew Witt have started doing it, and they've done a way better job of marketing. They're way more successful than me. I respect.
They're also
the heck out of those
sexier.
Guys. Way better looking. It's as if I just went, well, they're selling more than me. F them. I was here first. Stole my design. I could never do that. No, they built that business from the ground up just like I did. They just did it better. I'm not going to be bitter about it. If anything, I admire that. So that's the part that bugged me a lot. So Dan handled it well. And then Dan did the Dan thing, which when they refused to back down. And Dan goes, you know what, guys? I'm going to do some stories. He didn't go full Odies on this. He was very respectful and was like, they said this. Here's the story. Here's my table. Here's theirs. You make your decision. Anyways, I'm releasing the files for my table for everyone. I encourage you to make it, customize
for free,
sell it for free, completely for free. And I was very inspired by Dan, which doesn't often happen. That's kidding. I love him. But I then I made my own version, a triple tier version of it. I just released the plans for free.
Yes, and you'll be hearing from my lawyer. Her name is Yesi.
So, first of all, we want to hear from you guys too if you have any input on this. But I think Dan handled it beautifully. This person came after him, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to release the file I made myself to the public for something that's we actually found it on Amazon, different models on Amazon." It was like 50 something bucks.
It turns out you get
$58 on Amazon.
Yeah. With a 6% coupon.
Yeah. Ooh. And then it gets better because Dan gets a phone call today.
I love this
Dan
part.
or Braden, do you want to talk about it?
You guys are doing a fantastic job. The less
Braden,
I have to talk,
do you want to give
better.
the recap quickly?
No. I want to hear Dan's recap of this because
I don't know if I'm good at recapping phone calls because this phone call really got under my skin, and I saw a lot of red.
You did black out. Dan.
Luckily, Sutton was with me, and he has a much better memory than myself.
Braden,
also, I learned how to record a phone call today.
So my understanding from consulting with the agents from Daniel Dunlap Woodworks and Sutton Boakes, attorney at law, is that this maker called Dan.
Yeah,
found his phone number. They had
the audacity to call me.
Found his phone number and decided to holla at our boy. And in Dan's words, started to ask, started to talk. He started to respond, hey, and she said, they said, hey, let me talk for like 2 or 3 minutes. Like, just let me, and the understanding, probably just like a word vomit thing. Like, give me a platform and let me just share my piece. This person.
So I did.
Dan did. And I have confirmed it with Sutton that Dan didn't just like black out and start yelling profanities or something. Sutton has confirmed that Dan gave them their platform to go through how they are a parent of some sort, how they are a small business owner, how they have student and or teacher loans. I'm trying to be as ambiguous as possible, so I'm giving you the...
they have a life that they're supporting by their business.
Yep,
Basically,
they have built a life. They're trying to make it in this hard world. And ironically, every single thing is something that Dan also is, or in some cases,
Dan,
the
you're also a
opposite
parent
of.
with a small business.
I'm a
paying off
mom.
loans.
Yes.
And ironically, Dan also has the added bonus of having somebody employed that also is interested in paying their bills.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sutton.
Dan,
And
what was your rebuttal to that?
Dan?
I said, I also do all those things.
No, but didn't you just say okay?
Yeah. How did that part of the conversation end?
They got done with their spiel, and I just said, "Okay, noted. Have a nice day." And they did not like that response. I don't know what they thought I was going to do, but
Beg for their forgiveness, Dan.
yeah.
Apologize.
I mean, I will give them this. They, in that phone call, they did say, "Look, I fucked up. I shouldn't have reported your table as having stolen images. That was the only way Etsy allowed me to report it. I was just
because that's the only way it was illegal.
trying to.
Yeah.
I was just trying to protect what I have."
Do you,
And I was
Dan,
like,
do you think
but
that
like,
they were?
you did it in such a terrible way. Like, you could have reached out to me, but instead you did that. And in doing that, you have hurt me. So I don't know what you expected me to do. And it just kind of went from there. They ended up calling me an effing asshole.
Yeah.
was like-
After
I
Dan
was like,
did.
yeah, I am. If you would have done the minimum amount of research, you would have found that out.
And Dan,
Everybody knows me as the guy who got in a fight with Odies.
Dan
And won.
OD'd this maker. He OD'd them.
Well, here's the thing. No, Dan reached out. Dan did the most like.
I did. I reached
sensible
out
thing I've
before I
seen
ever
Dan
said
do.
anything in my stories. I DM'd them directly because I know I was following them. As a matter of fact, they posted something several weeks ago about using some recycled plastic, and they tagged the company they got the plastic from. And I was like, oh, shit, that's cool. I want to reach out to that company and see what they charge and what options they have and stuff. And I was like, ooh, the price on this stuff was like out of my budget. So I was
I've been following them for a couple of years because they're kind of more prominent on TikTok and stuff.
So anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I DM'd them on Instagram and I was like, yo, what is the meaning of this? I'd like to get some clarification, because I thought maybe they had, with the world we live in and the technology we have now, I thought maybe they downloaded some sort of app that like scrubs the internet for like stuff that looks like theirs, and they have an AI bot doing this. So I thought maybe that could be the thing that happened. So I didn't want to just like blast them right out of the gate. So I messaged them on Instagram. They're like, yeah, actually, I'm glad you reached out, because we did that. We felt we had to take steps because people were sending us photos. I'm like, that's not a good legal excuse if people are sending you photos. And we had a back and forth, and I was like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. Well, I'm not going to let this slide, is what I said in the DM. And that's when I made the story.
Then he started blasting.
That's when I made the story saying, hey, here's my file for this table. It got taken down from Etsy. I encourage everybody to go download it and cut it out yourself and sell it far and wide, because I can't currently. So, and then they saw the story and they responded with, hey, we saw your story. We hope that you would find it in your heart to take that down. And I was like, no.
Didn't they also say that they really hoped that you could keep it between the two of you as small business owners, professionally between the two of you?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they start out not between the two of you.
No, they got Etsy involved.
So I want to pause now.
Go ahead.
This kind of gets us to the future, to the present. I mean, Yesi, you've had some facial expressions in regards to this.
I'm just shocked with everything.
Would love your input. Like, how would you feel if someone tried to like hit you with something like that?
I mean,
are you more shocked?
This is my livelihood. This is how I pay for my stuff. I mean, if they're trying to protect their self, I'm going to protect too.
Are you more shocked?
Very right to do so. I mean, but I feel that the right thing was for that person to reach out to you first and talk to you about it before.
This would have went a whole lot different had they done
so much easier.
for sure.
Yeah.
And Dan would still sell a narrow table, but they'd feel better about
I
it.
probably would have been like, okay, yeah, I can redesign it or something because I've already redesigned
You
it.
redesigned it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to
So
sell
did
it
I
again.
and a bunch of makers too.
If they had done that, there wouldn't be 100 and what was it, 50
153
now competitors.
153 downloads as of the
Dan,
recording of this.
27
So-
on mine.
That's what you were keeping track of. Okay, now I'm putting all
Yeah.
together. Okay.
So Yesi, are you more surprised that this happened to Dan, or are you more surprised that we have other instances of this sort of thing happening to Dan specifically that we can reference about how he's learning on how to handle it?
It's like I said in my Instagram story. I don't know how this stuff finds me. I don't go looking for this stuff.
This one found you.
This one
Some of
found
the
you.
other ones you find. Again, I would call you out. I am fully behind you on this one, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Agreed.
You know, at first when this first happened, I was trying to stay calm, because I was really thinking maybe this is some sort of AI bot or something that they implemented.
Maybe this is a fever dream.
And I was calm, and Pete and Braden were like, "You are very calm. What is going on?" They were actually concerned.
Is everything
worried.
okay at home?
Yeah, I thought something had like mentally broken within Dan.
I was a little heated on the inside. That's why I waited so long to like DM them. I wanted to wait a few hours and kind of clear my head because I've learned over the many years that I've been alive that the longer I wait, the better it's going to be, because I get really heated and I say a lot of dumb stuff and do a lot of dumb stuff when I'm really mad. So just chill, come back at it later, and hopefully leveler heads will prevail.
And then he'll say dumb stuff politely.
Yeah.
So, Yesi, do you sell a product or something you make fairly consistently?
I've been selling lately. I've been selling a lot of the mobile bars. So there's basically a collapsible bar that folds, and
Can
it
you
can
send me a drawing of that?
Yeah, hey,
easily transported. It's big
started
here.
selling mobile bars.
What if you had gotten a cease and desist on the mobile bar? Which also by the way, I've learned, and I don't know if this is true, apparently a cease and desist is that's just like a pre-legal suggestion. It's not actually like any legal action. It's just like, hey,
right.
stop,
They're letting you
please.
know that they
Heads
could
up.
possibly go after you. Or
We've
whatever.
seen this.
Yeah, basically like a warning.
So how would you handle if a company came at you, or let's say you were selling it online somewhere and they took it down, and what would be your steps from someone with a background of knowledge in a field?
I mean,
a flaw.
Legally,
not
things that
some-
you can get away with.
yeah, if it's not something that I fully created.
Should we move our
alone,
businesses to that spot in Yellowstone?
if it's something that I know I created and it's not, I didn't copy anyone or I probably would not take it as lightly, let's say. But if it's something that I saw online and then I duped it, or I built it similarly, and someone tells me about it or approaches me, I would, I'm not going to be heartbroken over it. I'm just going to, there's so much more that I can build and it can be different. So that's not I don't think I would pursue a whole fight about it.
Yeah.
I tried to newlywed game what she was going to say, and I think I was pretty close. I had shank them. Pretty close.
I do want to go back and say that this one table isn't the only thing that I sell. Obviously, I have over 120 different items on my Etsy store and my website. However, I did see a massive drop in sales after this happened, and the timing is suspicious. I don't know if I can blame the stock market or if I can blame this action that was taken against me. I have to think it certainly didn't help. But I went from selling 65 to 70 items a week to last week I sold 20. So
ever since that took
yes.
The incident.
Yeah.
And luckily, Etsy does have a way you can counter. So I did file a counter claim.
Okay.
And they reached back out to me and said, okay, that the person that reported you, they have 10 days to come up with court filings to prove that it's there. So like they have to pay for legal action. So if they continue to do that, I'll continue to post different designs, and they can waste all their money on lawyers and all those fees. So I'll also be petty like that.
That's kind of one of the it's kind of one of the shitty things about Etsy, and it's kind of one of the things that a lot of people complain about.
I
Etsy
understand
as a
it though.
Etsy takes the I'm going to stand as far away from anything that could give us any sort of liability as possible. So their immediate reaction is the claim gets filed, and no person reviews it. They take the listing down, like it is gone
automatically,
and you just get the notification, and you have to pursue the here's the counter.
I believe Patrick filed the counter as well.
There's not really a person involved in any of that process other than when you file the counter. There's probably somebody that sees the email and says, all right, well, start the 10 days. But I mean, it's kind of the catch-22. Etsy offers some protections for you as a maker, but those protections can also be almost weaponized against competition.
That's the unfortunate thing. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, and I think that's one of the biggest complaints.
But here's the thing: if you continue to file false reports, they will take action against you. Yeah, Etsy will.
I mean, they should.
Yes, they spell that out, blankly and not blankly, directly in the email that they send.
And we've seen stories of people having their entire shops shut down for way less than something like that. So you got to think that repeatedly reporting is twice. Like you get the one freebie, and then the second time.
And what I'm really curious about is how many other shops that they tackle with that.
I don't know. I did a quick search on Etsy today just for narrow tables, and there are so many, and none of them are the ones that got my download. They're all just narrow tables. It's crazy. It still boggles the mind that this person that thought that they had something like, and then the one that I make looks. I mean, it's the same concept, but it's got a different look. It's got a different construction process. It's
mine's completely different, Dan.
I'm still angry.
Mine one-upped yours. It's an extra shelf.
I like that extra shelf. I wish I would have thought of that. I mean, I probably did think of it, and I was like, oh, that's a little work.
Me and Dan have a running joke of whatever like tool we buy, like it needs to be like 1 extra inch or more horsepower.
No. Pete has that joke.
It's kind of a bummer.
I have to be better than Dan.
It's kind of a bummer because that maker's narrow table, if you search narrow table on Etsy, it's an editor pick. Like they're doing well. Etsy is giving them the platform. The fact that they felt the need to take you down.
Yeah, that's
Patrick and anybody who knows however many other people. What a shitty look.
Well, they're getting kind of what they deserve in my
I wonder. Well, yeah, and I mean, you did on your phone call. They did say I had no idea who I was messing with. I didn't know that the community was going to turn on me. And it's exactly, Pete. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it less wrong because you didn't get caught the other 20 times you've done this. Like
she's just sorry that somebody retaliated.
She's not sorry that she did it. She's sorry that she got caught. They are sorry, not sorry that they did it. They are sorry that they got caught. So
you know what? I'm just all I can think about now is all the videos on TikTok and Instagram of a male or female Karen getting in someone's face, and then when they get aggressive, getting punched in said face, and then being like, I can't believe you hit me. Well, like, I had everything on camera. So, like,
I have all the receipts. The only thing I don't have is that phone call recorded, which I'm kicking myself for. But I have screenshots.
You have an expert witness.
Everything.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people need. Like, we need to be reminded as a society these days. People have forgotten that sometimes when you say things to the wrong person, you might get popped in the mouth. I think that some people need to remember that that's always
saying America got soft.
That's technically something that is on the table.
I think I said something to that effect during the phone call. I think I said,
what?
Well, no, there was no violence.
Right. Damn,
but I said,
Omaha, I'm done defending you.
I said, actions have consequences, and now you're in the find out phase or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
jeez.
Yeah.
They got OD'd.
Oh my God. We don't say that here.
Yeah, we don't
let's
say that.
jump into questions because there are actually some really great questions.
That's what's
for
on
Yesi.
my bench.
That's a great on a bench.
That has
man.
taken up my whole
on
week.
all of our benches this week.
Ugh.
Because actually, Dan, your whole kit and caboodle of drama inspired me to actually do some dang CNC
I
and
know. Look
woodworking.
at that. Some good did come out of this.
And it's finished and literally finished applied.
I am so damn proud of you, Peter.
Thank you. Yeah,
I think
I've
you
been
could
in
do
a
better,
rut lately.
Pete. I think you should do better.
I could do better. All right, let's jump into some questions with
Please, let's change the subject.
this audio that we still need to find a better audio.
Go, Black Betty, ram lamb.
I don't know why this is our questions.
Yeah, see, if you haven't realized this, our little intros are me singing because I have the voice of an angel.
Okay.
All right, let's kick it off. We'll do it in reverse from the pre-show. Alex Adams has some questions for us.
Single female lawyer fighting for her client.
Hey, Yesi. Have you ever had to deal with clients who have threatened legal action for whatever reason? And if not, what have you done to take steps to prevent that or mitigate that from happening?
My 4-page contract.
I was going to say, great question. Great question, Alex.
I already
Beat
answered
you
that
to
one.
it.
And after that question, she's going to add another page to her contract. Good job, Alex.
So, but have you ever had any like legal-ish?
No, because these people know who they're messing with.
No, thankfully I have not. And
But what are
I'm
some
grateful
things
for
that
that.
have come up that you've been like, I got to add this to the contract now?
Yeah, clearly that's been a thing.
Like
Well,
a
that
redesign
one-
fee or something?
That one built-in completely collapsed on site. That kid was never the same.
oh man, I'm making sure the cabinets are screwed into the studs. Okay. No, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't had any legal issues come up, but there's always something in a job, especially when you're at an install at a customer's house. Things that I always say, well, I'm going to add this next. So for example, just making sure everything's outlined not only verbally but in writing, and like something as simple as if I'm going to go do a laundry room install, I need to make sure that I've outlined, and I used to tell them this verbally, make sure that everything has been removed. So if there's a shelf there, an existing shelf, make sure it's removed. If they can't remove it or if they don't have the tools to remove it, I will remove it. And then there's a fee for it. There's a cost for it. Making sure that the room is clear and everything has been moved out of the way so I can come in and work. So I ran into certain situations where I had verbally express that, and when I arrive at the job site, there's a million things, and here I am having to ask them to move things, and that's just wasted time because now I'm waiting for them to move things around. So I'm like, okay, so something as little as that is in my contract where they can
Smart.
now it's in writing. so little things like that, which are now like a huge deal, but when you have allotted time for an installation and you have XYZ, how many days to do it, an hour to 2 hours of moving things around, that's a lot. That's a long time.
Well,
You know?
let me ask you this, and I'm trying to not ask you legal advice. What can a Joe Schmo, a Dan Dunlap, a Peter Kapar, Braden like do to protect ourselves? Like, we don't know legalese language. We don't know kind of what to put into a contract. Do we find a generic contract and tweak it? Like, is upon signing, is a contract like enough? Do we need a lawyer first to draft one for us, or can we create something ourselves, maybe leveraging some AI tools like ChatGPT? Like, what is required to make something a binding contract that could protect ourselves without having to accrue legal fees, essentially?
I mean, you don't need a lawyer to create the contract. You're going to build it based on your business and what you want to protect yourself for as much as possible. And once everything's on there and you have it signed by you and it's signed by the customer, that's going to help you in the event that you run into any legal issues when it comes anything on that contract. If you run into any legal issues and this is taken to court, that's your protection right there. If you don't have that in place, it's going to be super hard for you to fight it, you're going to end up hiring a lawyer. And
Would you
more
advise
likely-
against using a lot of slang like, I'm going to make your laundry room so skibbity Ohio Riz? Something
my
like
daughter would love you for this.
that?
Is there a tangible?
I also have a
measure-
16-year-old daughter.
Is there a tangible measure for rizness of
For rizness.
built-ins?
Wait, can you no longer write lit into a contract? It has to be Riz now? I have
Yes.
to change my contract.
Yes, yeah. Obama
You
changed
know what
that.
Riz?
actually.
I did not know what Riz meant until a few days ago, but I had to go through a situation where I learned. I was like, "What's Riz?" And I'm like Googling.
A situation involving a contract and a customer?
No,
They're like, hey, this contract super not Riz.
Yeah. This will be rizzed in court.
I am
so-
going to add that to my contract.
Okay, well that's good to know. So essentially, as long as it's something straightforward and you both parties sign it,
Yeah.
you're protected.
Yeah, basically,
Okay.
it at least will help you a ton.
Something's better than nothing.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's good to know because like
absolutely.
it's like listen, legal stuff is it's like taxes. It's one of those things that's extremely we're bred to fear it. We're bred to be afraid of it and to get an adult to help us with it. But knowing that it's something that at least at the basic level you can write something up and have people sign it and be covered. Also makes you feel super legit when you can like send a contract to a customer.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't want to scare you, but so I start off with my estimate. Once that is accepted, it turns into an invoice where I'm invoicing them for the deposit, the schedule of deposits, but in my estimate is written on there upon it. Once they accept the estimate, I will be sending the contract that they'll go over, sign it, send it back to me with the schedule of deposits and everything. So I just have everything, and I have a file for each customer where I have the contract, where the site inspection, where I did the measurements, where I went, pictures, everything is organized like that. So it just helps. It makes
Right
life
on.
easy.
No,
We
that's-
know that you're
that's it.
legit because you're using phrases like site inspection.
I know.
And what's
Like,
this?
I'm
right,
starting to
this
feel like we
invoice?
need to step it up.
I have a contractor's license. I don't even know what the heck you're
Actually-
talking about.
Super well on topic question, but random. In Florida, do you need a separate installer license, or like? Because I know in certain states you need to be certified as an installer, or get a license for installer on top of your business license.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like in Nebraska, if you're making something permanently affixed to the home, so like built-ins, you have to have a separate.
If you're changing the structural integrity of the home.
Right, right.
Which is why I never slice directly through one entire wall's worth of studs.
Yes.
So
I heard
only
every
halfway.
other stud is fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep, that is I did read that legally that is protected. It's like protected wildlife. So
36 inches on center is fine.
Yeah. I have a contractor's license for Nebraska. I can install stuff as long as I'm not changing the structure of the home,
Right,
Oh, okay.
right.
basically.
that's
Yeah.
why
You don't need a GC license unless if you're gonna change the structure of the home. That's completely
Okay. So if you're doing a built-in but just attaching it to the wall, you're fine.
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
Good to
fine.
know. Okay.
Well, in my
actually didn't
I'm
know. I
gonna
didn't
knock
realize.
down a wall and all that, which I will not do.
This
I
is
will-
another one of those things that was like scared into me. Like people were like, "No, you don't want to do that unless you're like certified for that or whatever." And I never looked it up, and I'm too scared to look now.
well, and it's not fair because then
Scary.
he went and got certified in freakage 7 days a week.
Yeah, I'm Riz certified. I am that.
You're-
but, like,
I would like to take a peek at your Riz card.
it's right next to my green card.
It's at the dry cleaners.
All right, next question from Alex Adams.
All right, this question is for Yesi. If you had an evil twin, what would their
no.
name be? Would it be Bizarro Yesi, Wah Yesi, Noe, a different derivation? I'm curious what you think.
Oh my god!
How many times have you heard the Noe joke, though? First of all,
Never.
have you heard? You've never heard?
No.
I'm curious. Is
Oh,
Yesi
please
short
tell
for
me it.
like Jessica with the Y, or is it just Yesi?
Yes, is Yesenia.
Oh yes. Oh, all right.
Yeah, but
I have a friend
everyone
named
just
Yesenia.
it's been Yesi's what everyone has called me forever. So
Noe. We
no.
all lost it in the pre-show on
So
that.
you don't have to answer
No,
that. It's-
Yesenia is my evil twin.
Oh, Yesenia. Oh, the full name. It's like when you're in trouble and your mom uses the whole name.
Yes.
Yes.
When mom uses the government name, that's when you know
Daniel Adam
done
Dunlap,
effed up.
get your ass
Wait.
over here. Oh, God.
What's your middle name?
I don't have a middle name.
What?
Mm-mm.
Did you misplace it or?
Did your parents not love you? What happened?
Hey, now.
Apparently it's Yesi.
Well, how did you know when they were mad at you? They didn't use a middle name.
It was Yesi Gomez.
All right, let's do next questions from Malcolm. And I remember I have to crank the audio on this one.
Hey guys, this is Malcolm from Bossa Nova Woodworks, and I don't know if you know this, but I really cracked the code on the design for narrow side tables. I created one I call the Basic. It's made of cherry, and my question this week is about what do you think the best finish for it is? Okay, thanks.
Malcolm did mention in a pre-show that he it's too late. He already finished it with the tears of his enemies. But Dan, what is the best finish for it?
I finish all my tables with lacquer, and then I put a coat of furniture wax over them to help protect the lacquer.
Like a hard wax oil?
Banuba wax, actually, from Bumbleshoots.
That's what I did.
But I put that over the lacquer. I don't know. You could use whatever finish floats your boat. I think peanut butter would make a great finish, actually.
Well, I will say this. I don't think just
And I'm
straight
being dead
lacquer
serious.
would be good because you're going to have water spots if you put a glass down on it. Because it's a side table. It's for the couch. When
That's
you're
why I do
watching,
the wax.
You're knitting.
That's why you
games or whatever.
use a coaster, you animal.
Coasters are just like what Big Coaster wants you to use.
Yeah, when I did the video on that table like last week or whatever, I didn't use a coaster in the video when I was showing off the table, and I got so many comments about using a coaster. Like, people get really bent out of shape over that. I mean, it's my table, my house, my rules.
I also constantly forget, and you remind me so often, that I can mix finishes on something once it's cured.
Yeah.
Like you can lacquer and then hard wax oil over that. I just never think to mix the genres. I'm always like one and done.
I'm of the belief that lacquer is the superior finish just because it looks good, it's durable, and it cures so fast.
And it smells like apple pie.
So fast. It does smell. It smells
like apple pie.
And also, if you spray it with the shop door down, it's a lot of fun working out there.
Fun ride. Yesi, what's your go-to finish that's not paint?
That's not paint.
Yeah.
Like,
She was totally going to say paint.
Thin paint.
I mean, I've stained a lot.
Rubio mono paint.
I have used Rubio for my finishes, and I do like it a lot.
It's good.
And so far that, and I've used just depending on what I'm building, I'll use like a polyurethane water-based. So I haven't really done a lot with oils and finishes just because I haven't built a lot of furniture, but I will be soon. So
You built a lot of furniture. It's just attached to homes.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
not standalone
not
furniture.
standalone furniture.
Yeah,
I
okay,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like short sell yourself here.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot of standalone furniture.
The stuff that lasts. I mean, people move into homes, and it's like, oh, and this is where the built-in is in the dining room. Nobody's ever like, and this is the coffee table that they accidentally left behind.
I am actually going to bogart the conversation since we're talking finishes. I forgot to ask you. I know, I do it all the time. Your paint quality seems to be really on point. Again, just doing it seems like in a garage, just killing it. You don't have a spray booth or anything fancy like that, but your paint quality seems to be really damn good. What are you using to spray? What paint and what gun?
Give us all the secrets.
Or you're rolling it on?
I'm gonna again say I bet she has a contract with the paint store that if it doesn't go on perfect, she's got legal avenues.
Is that Gumby?
No, I don't have a contract with the paint store. I've been using Sherwin-Williams, the emerald urethane for cabinets.
Well, the good
I
stuff.
just like the finish.
That's what I use too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you spraying with?
The Wagner Erlex 5700.
That's what you have, isn't it?
They
I have
sent that to
the
me.
6003 or whatever. No, Erlex. I don't have the Wagner. I have the Erlex. Is that the? Oh wait, I think I saw it in your posts.
Doesn't
Okay.
Wagner make the Erlex?
I think so. Yeah, Wagner's the
Yeah.
parent company because Erlex used to be their own, and then they got bought by Wagner.
Yeah, so they sent me the sprayer a few months ago, and I've been using it, and I really like it.
Huh.
I like the finish. I like the way it sprays, and it's nice and smooth. I do a lot of, I mean, obviously the prep work, the sanding, the priming, sanding in between, after I've primed.
And you like that sprayer, like cleaning up everything
Mhm.
with it? Because it's
Early-
pretty cheap. $350 for the
Yeah.
sprayer.
Yeah, it's affordable. It does a good job. It's easy to clean up with. So yeah.
And
I'm
what do
happy.
you spray the emerald with? What tip? Are you just using a stock tip, or did you get a specialty? Because that emerald paint is pretty thick.
Mm-hmm. It's just a tip that
That it came with.
it came
Okay.
with. Yeah, it
Wow,
has.
okay.
It has two, but I just make sure I'm using the proper one.
See, because the reason I'm asking this is because I was gonna spray emerald, and I went down a rabbit hole, and I was basically bullied into buying the Graco Quick Shot. It's like $1,200 because it's a great gun and it pushes everything just fine. But like, I feel like I could have gotten away with something cheaper.
How is it? Have you used it?
Oh, I absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it.
So, but funny enough, me and Keith bought it like 50-50. We both own it. We just bought it together, and
Shared
he used it on a
custody.
project, and
it's adorable.
he used
Every other
Benjamin
weekend and
Moore's
alternate
paint. Yeah, we alternate
holidays.
weekends and holidays.
Is that what the lawyer arbitrated or whatever?
Yeah,
I'm trying to throw
exactly.
out legal words now.
So I love the finish, but Keith has way higher standards. Like he's got like cabinet shop quality standards. And he was a little picky about it, but he said it was fine for in his house. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, this looks flat. This looks beautiful. He's like, but you can see when the light just hits it right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely amazing. It's great. But I always just like to know what other options are there because I'm not going to recommend to everyone a $1,200 sprayer.
Right.
Y'all,
Okay.
y'all bougie. We out here with our $14 Harbor Freight sprays.
That don't
Right.
sleep on that. Those I've been recommending that to people because that thing sprays well.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And if it sucks, you toss it.
That's my favorite part about it is I don't feel bad because I'm.
No.
I-
Don't toss it. Harbor Freight has a lifetime warranty on like everything.
I'm just
I feel
saying,
so guilty.
I have
Don't.
studied at the altar of Dan. I'm just gonna get a new one.
Yeet. Jeez. All right. Next question's Patrick Gensel.
What is the difference between a herd of buffalo and lawyers? Lawyers charge more. What's the difference between a lawyer and a vulture? Vultures don't accumulate frequent flyer miles. Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, my questions are for Yesi. First one is, if you weren't a maker and you couldn't go back to lawyering, what would you do? What would you be doing professionally? And my second question is, if you could learn any maker skill that you don't already have, what would it be? All right, that's all I got. Dan, love the side tables. And oh, by the way, this is Patrick from Crafted with Machines.
Oh,
Have a great show, everyone.
what would you be doing if you weren't
Not going
making
back.
and couldn't go back to
Or
lawyering?
lawyering.
I wouldn't want to go back. I'm done with that phase of my life.
It
So
was
you
that
couldn't be a
bad, folks.
maker.
No,
was that
I'm
bad.
done. I feel like from this
So much
point forward,
trauma.
if I'm not going to be making, I want to step up and do something fun. I don't know.
She left at 0 bad guys left on the streets, and it's up to somebody else. Somebody else has to take the mantle at this point.
What would I do? I'd probably enjoy. I love football, so I would want to probably maybe try to get a job as the water girl or the Gatorade person that goes around with the players, making sure they're hydrated. And I travel with
Okay.
and all that stuff.
Okay.
Very specific. I
We're
like
go-
this.
I didn't see that coming at all.
Have
That's what I want to do if I
She just has
ever
a poster of Water Boy outside her shop. So she walks out every day and hits it like she's about to go play a game.
This is super chill H2O.
you know the bottle with a squirt.
Have you found a source on your special water that has been blessed by a mystic Arctic shaman? Like, are you prepared for this, or is this just a hope and a dream? Yes.
Yeah, hopes and dreams.
Ridiculous.
It's working so far. Stop judging.
Whatever she's doing, it's working. Exactly.
If I'm ever there, I'll wave TV cameras. There she is. She's living her dream.
Well, the other question was, if you could learn one maker-based skill, and you had the time for it, what would it be?
I've never done anything on the scroll saw. I would love to learn how to do all these intricate little pieces and just putting everything together, especially the signs. That's something I would love to learn. And then another thing is obviously the CNC. I'm never done anything on a CNC, and I have no choice but to learn it soon. So
that's the best way to do it. Big fan of that approach.
Yeah.
Jump in head first.
I'm going to jump in head first and
sink or swim.
Reaching out to a lot of people that are really good and asking a lot of questions.
And if you want to learn a scroll saw, reach out to Lizzie or Ashley. Tell them AWP sent you. Don't know what it means.
Okay. For those two things, yeah.
Nice.
Also, buy 2 or 3 of every single bit that you think you need, because you it's not a matter of if you'll break them, especially when you're starting out. It's how fast you're going to do it.
Yeah, I've heard.
God, I snapped an 1/8" one. I'm still mad. It was literally brand new.
I tried to never use an 1/8" bit because I snapped too many of them.
That's the hard part. Like, I love using 1/8" down cuts, but if I just am not paying attention, it's one of those things. And Yesi, this is the worst thing about the CNC. Everything that goes wrong, you have zero excuses because you literally programmed it to do exactly what it does.
You did all the
wrong. Did it. And you can't blame your machine. Wow. It did what you wanted it to.
What do you mean? I blame my machine all the time.
Yeah, but to be fair, Sutton keeps coming back. But yeah, that's always the part that makes me so mad, is like, I know exactly what I just did, and it's not and it's always on the brand new bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's never the one I just had in a drawer.
Yeah, it's never like, this is my last carve. It's always like I needed this one. It's the last one I've got in the drawer, and I need it for this job.
I don't know how many times I got to tell you, if you need an 1/8" bit, just let me know. I have a stockpile of them. I got like 15 or 20 of them.
It's always at the most like wildly inconvenient times.
Yeah, see, the main thing you need to remember is you need to triple check your Z. Always.
What
your zero is, whether it's off the top of the workpiece or the CNC surface, because that's how you're going to lose the most bits. It's when it just goes
initially.
Just and hear that like
you'll learn
sound.
that like you'll learn the sound, so you'll be across the shop and it'll make a sound. And you'll be like,
I could be in my house and I'll hear something's wrong.
I do that, and I turn my head real fast, and Sutton goes, "What?" He knows.
Yeah.
Like you'll
these bits are expensive.
They're not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them from Temu though.
Yeah, Dan's got some hookups on Amazon.
Did you say
with that whole tariff situation? I don't know. I'm a little scared to order anything from Temu currently.
That's why you need to order compression bits. That helps mitigate the tariff.
I tear out. That's good. I saw where you were going with that.
Don't order your bits from Temu. Go to bitsandbits.com.
Yeah,
that's right.
I've ordered from them before.
Bitsbits.com.
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 All right. Next question's from Sarah Goldstein.
Hey.
AWP.
Question for Dan. I'm excited to make your table. Which finish do you use on it? What do you sand it to? Question for Yesi. Hey girl, do your clients give you inspiration pics or exactly what they want? Or do they let you use your imagination and let you have fun with it? Thanks. Rosie's Woodshop.
Well, Dan, we know what finish you already use.
3 coats of lacquer, 1 coat of Benuba oil, sand it to 180.
What is this?
180 is about perfect for all furniture. I feel
what is this fun that she's referencing? Have you guys heard that before?
I don't know what this fun word
I think
is.
a lot of finish was actually, if you read the instructions on a finish, they don't want you to go beyond 180 or 220. Some people will like sand to 400. I'm like, wow, no.
The only time I
can't
go
grip
past,
on the glass.
You you've clogged the pores for the finished absorb. Nay.
The only time I go past 180 is if I'm doing like an in-grain cutting board, I'll go to like 220. Other than that, 180.
You're right. Just the board. And then question for Yesi was, why am I blanking?
Do her customers ever let her have fun with design, or does she build to spec?
Do they ever give you inspiration pics? I saw one post you had of what looked like a 3-year-old drawing of a mudroom or something, or a built-in.
It was like a counter, a sink, the scallop detail counter. I asked for inspiration pictures whenever they reach out, and they haven't already provided them. I do ask them for inspo pictures and kind of go from there, trying to get an idea of what they want and, where they're going with this project. But most of them, even if they provide the inspo pictures and they have their mind set on something, they do give me that leeway. So it's a combination of both. I will give them my opinion, but basically ultimately build whatever they want and they would like. But it's 50-50, I would say.
Nice.
But yeah, some of them, if they don't provide an inspo pic, they'll provide a sketch. And like I said, Pete just said, that one was perfect because she just did this on, I think, like on her iPad. She screenshotted what she wanted. She sent it to me, and the finished product was basically her sketch. And it was just really cool.
Fun fact of something I learned this week, besides of the whole debacle I was dealing with. I had somebody reach out to me and they wanted like a TV console built for their deck where the TV would pop up out of it. And so I just got done watching a video by David Picciuto over at Make Something about how you can take like the worst sketch ever and upload it to ChatGPT and give it an explanation of what you're going for. And it will pop out an amazing like image. It's so good. I recommend everybody go watch David Picciuto's latest video.
That's crazy.
It's amazing. And I promptly sent that over to the potential client. And well, I mean, it's been crickets, but it was so easy to like take my terrible chicken scratch sketch, upload it to ChatGPT, and then it popped out something that looked professional. And I was like,
you
this
don't
is
have
what
to sit
I
there
had
and
in mind.
model it in Fusion and then, render it to look like a real thing. It just looked like a piece of furniture. It was great.
Yeah, you can give ChatGPT the dimensions you're looking for and everything.
Oh.
And then I took it a step further with something else. I asked it if it would make detailed cut lists and plans, and it spit out a PDF and an SVG.
No way.
I haven't double checked all the measurements in the plans, but I'm gonna assume it's good because I want to be lazy.
I need to try it.
Oh my god, the technology is just getting out of hand.
This just in, Daniel Dunlap Woodworks is now being rebranded as ChatGPT Woodworks. Dan works for the AI and Sutton works for Dan.
Yes.
It's like an assistant to the regional manager.
Dan GPT.
Yesi, are you a Pinterester, or do you use Pinterest a lot?
I use it a lot to search for different ideas, inspiration, and as far as posting on there, whatever I post on Instagram automatically posts on Pinterest. I sometimes forget that it sends all my stuff there too. And I've, believe it or not, I've gotten a lot of leads through Pinterest too on certain things, like on the mobile bars and stuff like that. I'll have people coming to Instagram and they'll reach out. Hey, I came across your pin on Pinterest and I'm interested in a build similar to this. So, but yeah, I'll spend a lot of time on there just looking for ideas if I'm going to build something, or if I'm looking for inspiration on different builds. I find myself going there a lot.
So I know Dan uses it quite a bit for inspiration. I started using it a lot more. I used to be heavy on Pinterest. Like that was my Instagram back in the day. But I found something today through a reel on Instagram. And that is, if you're on Pinterest, because sometimes I'm searching for stuff and it's just nothing but sponsored, like just ads, tons of them. If you hide pin for 5 ads, like, which is easy. You can literally, first page, there's at least 5 ads on there. If you hide those 5, while you're like doing searches for that session or whatever, you will not see another sponsored ad. It'll come back again.
For
like
now.
I did it earlier today. No. So it'll last for a while. So
yeah, what
when
I'm
I sent
saying
you
for
guys
now
that-
until this becomes popular and
Yeah.
Pinterest fixes
But
the glitch.
No, I think it's actually intentional. Like for like, hey, you don't want to look at ads right now. You just want to use Pinterest for the
Right.
next whatever, this session or next hour, whatever it might be. Because I sent you guys that video like 4 or 5 hours ago, and since I've reopened Pinterest and I had ads again, but then I hid the sponsored posts and I was able to view just
Or
Pinterest.
just going hiding them.
Literally just like when you see sponsored under the inspo pic, you just hit the little 3 dots and do hide pin. You do that for
Okay.
5 of them, refresh the page, no ads.
Good to know.
Which is kind of nice if you're like really trying to look for inspiration.
Mhm.
It honestly clears the space quite a bit.
That's good. Yeah.
I
Something
always
like
get
that before.
inspiration from macaroni and cheese by Kraft.
It's like tea leaves. Dan just reads mac and cheese. Dan's like, I love that one joke from Family Guy. It's like, whoa, Brian, there's a message in my alphabet soup. It says, ooh. And he says, Peter, those are Cheerios. All right. Last question is from Alex Duffy from Duffy Custom Duffies.
Hey.
Oh, that's Sarah again.
Question for Dan.
Hang on.
I'm excited to make your table.
Stop.
She's super excited.
She's super excited. Alex Duffy.
Question for
her.
Yesi. Please explain your shop Gumby mascot. Alex Duffy, assistant to the regional mayor.
Yes, Alex Duffy, the assistant to the regional mayor. What?
All
Gumby?
right, so Gumby, which I used to watch when I was younger, and used to love Gumby.
You can still watch it. It's fine.
I can still watch it. So Gumby was given to me by a friend and has been in my shop since probably like a year, a little less than a year.
The friend
So-
or Gumby?
Huh?
The friend has been in a shop or Gumby?
No, Gumby, my friend.
She's chained up on the
Oh,
wall.
there it is.
Nice.
Oh,
So Gumby is my version of Elf on the Shelf, right? He's always getting into trouble in the shop, doing something that he's not supposed to be doing. So this is my version of Elf on the Shelf. He's Gumby on the Lumbee.
Oh.
I like that. That's catchy. Okay.
So there'll be a lot of times that he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing, and I'll just snap a picture and post it on there, and everyone cracks up. And a lot of times he's just taped onto the cabinet or the wall, and they're like, "What did Gumby do now? Why is he taped? He's been taped for days there." So
You just look back and go, you know what you did?
You did. I like how you've gotten to the point of like the parent that's on like week 2 of Elf on a Shelf, and they're like, yeah, he just hasn't moved tonight, honey. I don't know.
Maybe you've been bad.
Did you touch him? Is
Maybe
the
mommy
magic
and daddy
gone?
are really tired, and we're not going to deal with Gumby today.
yeah, Gumby.
Well, that's it for questions. I think we got everyone here. This has been great. I like that I was able to grill you on like how to refinish my own house.
Yeah, that was very selfish. What the heck?
You know
And
what?
super
People want to
aggressive.
know too. So I'm asking the questions that the people want to know.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's it. Yesi, where can people find you?
I mean, so as far as like social media,
Yeah.
Like home
Not
like
physically,
home
not
address?
home address.
No, no.
Social media. Do you want? I don't know if you want to share your website. I know it's not fully ready yet, but
it'll be yesicanbuildthat.com and Instagram knock on wood FL. I'm also on TikTok, same way, knock on wood FL. And my YouTube channel, which is up, I just have not uploaded videos yet, is Yesi Can Build That as well.
love it.
Dope.
Your site looks great.
Oh, don't look at it now. It's under construction.
I'm looking at all the things.
You'll see hammers in place. This is where other pictures.
Placeholders.
continues though.
I opened TikTok. I was going to go follow her.
Yeah, go check her out. And all the links are going to be in the show notes. So make sure to go check out Yesi and follow along with all the awesome stuff, especially if you are refinishing anything in your house. I am looking forward to your YouTube stuff because I think a lot of the projects you have are really great. And I mean this in the nicest way. Like, they seem very accessible. You don't seem to be doing work that's so out of scope for a lot of our listeners, which makes it, like, at least for me, I'm looking at your projects and I'm like, you know what? This does seem a lot more doable, a lot more approachable, and not as scary as I have it in my own head. I don't need a lamello. Okay, that's good to know.
Have you thought about starting a line of narrow tables?
Narrow mobile bars.
That should be the first file you make, or the first thing you make when you get your new CNC.
Hear me out.
That's true.
Narrow built-ins.
Narrow built-ins. Well, when you between two washing machines, sometimes you got to squeeze in a little bit.
I did a small little cabinet between the washer and dryer. It's narrow.
She's been doing narrow built-ins for years, boys.
But yeah, hopefully I'll have a lot of how-tos, tutorials on YouTube. So that's my goal, to get something going in the next several months.
Love it.
Looking forward to it.
Dan, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I could add some stuff if you really want me to.
Yeah, I'm in a mood. Go.
Okay. Hey, we have patrons, and we love our patrons. We want to thank our patrons. If you want to be one of our patrons, you can go find us on iloveawp.com. I had to think there for a second.
Nice.
Or just go to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast. But iloveawp.com might be easier. I don't know. The link is in the show notes. You could just click a link. I think that's all I need to talk about. Brayton, do you want to mention anything?
If you join Patreon, we love you more. But no matter what, if you're listening, we want you to win. So this month we want you to win a $250 gift card to WTB Woodworking, which you can spend on pretty much anything, like anything that you want, anything that your little heart desires. That Bill sells there. You can buy it. Make sure that you use code AWP for $0 off. But I don't know, might do something cool. So do that, but go donate money to St. Jude's, get entered in to win the gift card this month. And if you join Patreon, you get 5, 10, 15, or possibly 20 separate entries, literally just for loving us. So thank you. We love you back.
Right on.
Right on. Well, Yesi, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this one. And go check out Yesi. Go give her a follow on all the platforms. And we'll see you guys next week. Love y'all. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye.
Love you long time.